Trump speaks to God. Hello, welcome back to Bible Bears. I'm Ryder Cullison. So at a recent rally in Minnesota, Trump is addressing a few hundred supporters, and he's talking about the dip in the economy, how the economy somewhat collapsed at the beginning of the COVID pandemic. It has since started recovering, but Trump basically said, prior to COVID, I had built up the economy. It was wonderful. It was a great economy. And then now, during this dip, I'm going to have to build it up again. And he says, you know what? That's God testing me. You know what? Here, you just watch the clip, and then we'll talk about it, okay?
We built the greatest economy in the history of the world, and now I have to do it again. You know what that is? That's right. That's God testing me. He said, you know, you did it once. And I said, did I do a great job, God? I'm the only one that could do it. He said, that you shouldn't say. Now we're going to have you do it again.
Okay, so you saw what he said. Essentially, he's saying he spoke to God. God was testing him, and now God is going to use him to rebuild our economy. So there's lots of things going on here, and I'd like you to put your comments below as we go on. Oh, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Now, whoo. Okay, so I think the media is kind of blowing this a little bit out of proportion. When Trump says, you know, I spoke to God, or God said to me, hey, you know what, we're going to do this again. You know, I'm testing you, whatever have you. I think people are kind of treating this like Trump was on Mount Sinai and God is speaking to Moses and there's a loud audible voice. Hey, many of us Christians, we speak to God. Doesn't mean we hear a loud booming voice from the heavens. So for those who are making jest of all this, relax. I don't think Trump was implying that he heard an audible voice outside of his head saying, hey, bro, you and me are going to rebuild this economy. All right, so let that go. What I'd really like to focus on is President Trump. Is he being sincere here? In other words, when he says he spoke to God, did he do this in prayer or meditation? Okay. Or was he simply pandering to the audience that he was speaking to in order to gain votes? Because we see a lot of that going on. Joe Biden's doing that. Joe Biden, who picked probably the most pro-choice, pro-abortion running mate in the Senate. Joe Biden has been emphasizing his Catholic faith and how important it is to him, and yet his voting record on abortion and who he's chosen as a running mate certainly conflicts with that. Okay, so that's Joe Biden pandering to a Catholic base, trying to get more votes and perhaps try to steal some evangelical voters from Trump. Now, Trump already has a lot of evangelical voters, so would there be a reason for him to pander to his audience? Maybe, but here's the one thing that I liked about that. What he said. He at least admitted that he didn't do that alone, okay? Nothing that we accomplish in our life is ever done by ourselves. You might have a wallet full of money. Well, every penny, nickel, dime, quarter, and piece of paper currency that you have in your wallet came as a gift from God. He gave you the charisma. He gave you the intelligence. He gave you the wisdom or the discipline or the tenacity or the wisdom. I don't know if I said that twice. Okay? All of these things, all the gifts from God, everything that you had, the attributes come from him. Trump is at least admitting, even though he wanted to take credit solely for the economy, God said, don't say that. I'm going to use you to build the economy again. Great. I like that piece of what he said. The manner in which he gave that speech, I don't know. It was a little flip. You know, hey, me and God are talking, whatever. But at the same time, Maybe it should have had more reverence than it did. However, I like the fact that he even acknowledged God. I think that's what a lot of evangelicals like. Trump, let's say, even if he is pandering, doesn't seem to care about offending anybody in regards to talking about God. That's refreshing, because so many of us today, being a Christian is like being a conservative in Hollywood. It's like being a conservative almost anywhere, right? So, this is what I would like to know in the comment section below. Do you feel Trump was being sincere? Do you think he prayed and actually reflected and actually feel that this is what God was speaking to him? Yes, that we're going to rebuild the economy. No, President Trump, you did not do this alone. I helped you, but I will help you again. Or do you think he was merely pandering to his audience? Now, what's interesting to note is if he is speaking genuinely here, if he is sincere, and he really feels that God is conveying this message to him, then the election is already over, right? Because if he's not going to be president, it's very unlikely that God is going to work through him to rebuild our economy. So that's actually refreshing, because I have a lot of issues with President Trump. I won't go into them. I'm not afraid to say that I have them, though. Even as a Christian, I've got issues with him. With that said, I'm not voting for Joe Biden this year. So you guys can leave comments below regarding that as well. But this means, again, if Trump was sincere, that he will be elected president, which is good news despite the issues that I continue to have with him, and no doubt will have with him for the next 4 years. So leave your comments below. I love to hear from you. Is he pandering or is he sincere? I'm hoping that he's sincere. I'm hoping we get another 4 years of Trump, or at least another 4 years of no Biden or Miss Harris. Thank you guys for tuning in and watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share if you like this video. And as always, have a blessed week.